and love, family. Hey. This is your sister Nayera, your transformational life coach, speaker, and retreat leader, and of course, best-selling author of The Repair of the Black Family. Once again, I am here as your host with the Heal on Purpose podcast, owned and operated by the Repair of the Black Family. I am truly excited tonight as we continue to bring you content that is going to help eradicate generational trauma, drama, limiting beliefs, and self-sabotaging behavior patterns to help us to really, in this dispensation of time, to fortify ourselves so we can show up every single day as whole again, right? So tonight, I'm very honored. I'm excited. I'm very humbled to host these beautiful women that is going to be talking about this upcoming release. First of all, I'm not going to even go into it. Before I even go into it, I'm just going to ask you to pull out your phone and put it on your calendar, okay? However you send yourself that reminder, I'm going to ask you to do that right now because November 5th, Volume 3 of Embracing Imperfection is going to be released to the world. And I'm truly excited for that because I worked forward to this book, y'all. So you're going to have to get the book. And tonight I have the distinct honor to interview some of the authors that is going to share their stories with us, not just tonight, but also in the book. And one of the beautiful things that I like about this book, it is produced by the visionary author Jessica T. Moore, who is a sister that stepped in her power, not only to, as she would say, not stand in her story, but to stand on her story. Jessica has helped hundreds upon thousands of women to break the silence. Now, y'all know, come on now. We are people that we don't lost our voice in this world, but leave it to Jessica T. Moore. She's making room in the assembly line. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, put that in my chat. She's making room in the assembly line so that other women can come forward and embrace imperfections. And then guess what? Have us to embrace our imperfections. So I'm going to go ahead and have these beautiful women come on the screen. I see showing up and showing out today. We got Joy Allen, the Joy Coach. Sister Michelle, how are you? Beautiful. I see Tanisha Reed. Look, everybody's showing up as the queens that they are. First and foremost, I'm going to ask everyone to just stop, take a moment, go ahead and share this. We definitely don't want to be stingy with the information. So everybody that's listening to me on YouTube, make sure you share this. If you are on my Facebook Live, make sure you share this. If you are going to come back and listen to the podcast, go ahead and invite somebody else to come listen to the podcast because today we are going to embrace our imperfections. And so I'm just going to go right around the screen here. Welcome to Heal on Purpose. Now, this is the podcast where, Sister Tanisha, we are intentionally healing, right? We're not doing this by happenstance. This is not just something we woke up one day and said, okay, I'm going to heal. No, this has been a journey. And everyone that has graced the mic with Heal on Purpose podcast, they have been on their journey and in their journey and, coming from that heal space and showing others how to overcome their difficulty factors. And so today I'm just blessed to have you. And I'm going to start with you, Sister Tanisha. Who are you and how do you show up in the world? Welcome, beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an absolute honor. I think you are beautiful and amazing. And I am so appreciative of the opportunity to collaborate with you today, Queen.
Absolutely. And so what do you do in the world? Tell us about, what do you do?
Okay. My name is Tanisha Reed. I am an author of 4 books. I am a mentor, a motivational speaker, a writing coach, a mother, a wife, a woman of God, and an academic advisor at a community college.
Wow. And you all of that and had time to write another book, Come on, girl. Like, you're going to show the Black woman how to show up and be graceful and do it all at one time. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Sister Tanisha. And then I look to my screen right here, and I'm coming to you, Joy, because I see you and I know you, girl. But I want to talk to Sister Michelle. Sister Michelle, how are
Hello.
you, beautiful? You look like a ray of sun, just like sun shining through my screen. Do you get tired
Well,
that often?
praise God.
Yes, ma'am. Who are you, and how do you show up in the world, Sister Michelle?
Okay, I am Michelle K. Eccles. I am a registered nurse by profession. I'm a mother, a grandmother. Um, I show up in the world every day.
Come on.
Everywhere I go, I make a show up.
Yes, yes. We can tell by the
So,
sun coming out.
okay. Um, this is my very first publication.
Wow.
So I'm just getting started, not my last, my very first. So
Yes.
I'm kind of in the beginning, you know, in the beginning race with these girls, or
Yes.
ladies rather.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I just want to say welcome to the writing world. You
Thank
know,
you.
I just joined the race too. Like I probably I'm back there with you, but
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you it's just a beautiful journey. Like once you start, it becomes addictive, right? It becomes addictive because we know that there is at least one woman that's out there that needs to hear our story. And that's
Right.
the power of the pen, right? So welcome to the journey. Welcome to what I call breaking every chain, right?
Hmm.
Just welcome to freedom, because writing is freedom, right?
Yes.
Not just freedom for the writer, but freedom for the reader. So welcome to this fight, right?
That's the
This
name
fight
of
to
my
free.
chapter.
Are you serious? See that, girl? Okay, let me just be quiet.
Freedom reigns.
Is that true? Okay, awesome. Well, that means we know each other by the spirit. You see
Yes.
that? We know one another by the spirit, because
Mhm.
those of us that's in this fight, in this battle to free the minds, the hearts and minds of our people and all people, then we understand that the race is not to the swift nor to the
Right.
strong, but those of us who can endure to the end. And that's what it takes when you are seeking to free the people. So we're going to move right along. And I see the beautiful Joy Allen, AKA the Joy Coach. She got that radio personality for sure, the clubhouse. Is she right from my hometown, St. Petersburg, Florida?
Yes.
Joy, who are you? Tell the people who you are and how you show up in the world.
Absolutely. Well, good evening, and thank you, first of all, for having us on the stage with you tonight. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. So I am Joy Allen. I'm also known as the Joy Coach. I am a certified life coach, certified mental health coach, as well as inspirational speaker, host, MC, writing coach. Couple more things. Almost four-time best-selling author this weekend.
Come on.
And by the end of the year, I'll have at least 7 to 8 books under my belt. So I've girl been writing a little
Come
bit.
on.
Yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. Like you said, I'm originally from St. Petersburg, Florida. That's my hometown, where I plan to be back really soon, by the grace of God.
Come on
And
home,
so
girl. We got you.
I'm just here to bring joy into the world in any way that I can, any way that God sees fit. That's my purpose.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Joy. And one thing I have come to learn about you, you absolutely bring a smile to every platform, and that is what I can truly appreciate about just being in your presence. Sometimes you don't have to say much, just smile. Smile for me, right? So thank you so much, Joy. It's healing in the smile. And then I see Dr. Daphne Soares. Thank you so very much for showing up, girl. I love the background. I almost chose it today, but I'm gonna let you have your own space with that. Dr. Daphne, thank you so much for being here with us. We truly appreciate you showing up for us today. Please tell us, who are you and how do you show up in the world?
First of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm excited with all these rock star women sharing the screen and also co authoring the books. My name is Dr. Daphne Suarez. I am tuning in from Dubai, and it's a good morning from here. It's a 3 a.m. for me. But I couldn't miss this opportunity of joining all of you. I'm a business and a leadership coach for moms. I globally serve moms by empowering them to break free from anything that is holding them back and also gain financial stability, which is so much needed for the moms. So home is not the only place for moms. They deserve much, much more. So I feel even co-authoring these books has helped me to open and my voice and be heard globally, because I come from a generation where we hushed up things. So I have
Mm.
broken the bias of literally opening my voice so that others know what we go through as moms, how things happen, and how we can still say yes to our success and make it happen for us.
Wow. Wow. That's a mouth. Look, that's a mouthful. Okay. And it's 3 a.m. in Dubai. Okay. First and foremost, thank you for chiming in from Dubai, because I already feel like I got a close connection now, because that's one of my bucket list places. But being that you are here, I'm right there in the space with you. And you said something so powerful that and it coincides with this quote for me, that home is our base, it's not our place. And oftentimes when we come and we get married or be in relationships, we start having children, we do lose our place in the world, right? Because we are at home. But we can be at home and have it all too. And so thank you for breaking the silence that moms, you got a voice and a place. So today Dr. Daphne is going to show and share with you on how you can position yourself as a mom and have your business and show up like a rock star, make that money, read a book, and write a book. So thank you, Dr. Daphne.
Thank you
I
so much.
appreciate you so much. And then I see beautiful sister Sylvia Lachey. How are you, sister? We can't hear you, Queen. You got to take your phone off mute.
Okay, I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Hey, we doing absolutely wonderful. Welcome to Heal on Purpose, where we are intentionally healing for sure. And we have you here tonight, and we are so excited to hear from you. Sister Sylvia, tell us who you are and how you show up in the world.
Okay, well, everyone, I am a 33-year-old early Head Start teacher, the mother of one. Just out here trying to leave my impact on the world, helping people understand how to heal from their past and just that they can get through anything.
Beautiful. We lost you, Sister Sylvia. Okay, we
Keeps
lost
popping.
your voice, but nevertheless, I
Can you hear
heard
me
you.
now?
We can hear you now. Yes, love.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So what
The
we did
weather is
here.
kind of bad where I'm at, so it's going in and out.
No worries, no worries. What we did here is that you are a mom, you're a Head Start teacher, you make an impact in the world. You out here to show us how to do it and when to do it, the new beginnings, right? You get us that fertile grounds when we just popping out the womb. We you are the head start for the new generation. So you showing us
Yes,
how to do this. So thank you so much, Sister Sylvia. Again, we're here on Heal on Purpose, and tonight we're discussing Embracing Imperfection, Volume 3 by the visionary author, Sister Jessica T. Moore, who has given a platform, a space, an opportunity for women to step not just in their power, but step on top of their power to help us embrace our imperfection. And so I'm going to just take this and roll it around again. Sister Tanisha, what is the name of your chapter in this most powerful book that's going to be released on November 5th?
Well, Queen, the name of my chapter is Breaking Generational Curses. And earlier, when I introduced myself, I talked about all the roles that I play in my life now. Um, Growing up, I didn't see any of that. I didn't see myself in any of these roles. I come from a broken home. I was not raised by my mom or my dad. I was raised by my grandmother. And I faced a lot of issues, depression, suicidal thoughts, low self-esteem. And I just never saw myself getting past those things.
Mm.
But by the grace of God, I was able to overcome all of those things and break generational curses. One of those generational curses being that I was happily married when I created my own family. So I was able to provide a stable household for my two children, which is something I never had. So I was able to give my children something that I never had, that I always dreamed for and hoped for. So that was one of the main generational curses I broke, amongst other things. But in order for you to find out what other generational curses I broke and how I went about doing so, I would love for you to purchase our book.
Absolutely. Now, family, as you listen to these most powerful stories, I'm going to ask that if you have any questions for the authors, to go ahead and put it in the comment section. In addition to that, there's a link, and I believe my engineer is going to put it in there, put it in the chat on how you can register for the summit that's coming up. And we want you to stay connected with this powerful movement of embracing imperfection. And so, Sister Tanisha, you said that you overcame suicidal thoughts, which that is something that is very prevalent, especially in the Black community. More and more of our teenagers, our youth, women, suffering from anxiety, depression, and men too. Like, men need healing as well. I think we just more so communicate as women, because we're communicators. We talk about it more. What is something that one can get from your chapter that will help deal with that?
Well, as far as suicidal thoughts goes, I think one thing they will receive from my chapter that'll help somebody that is suicidal is the fact that you have to realize that your life is not your own. Each and everything that we go through is for a greater purpose, and that purpose is to live in order to be able to tell your story so that you can help somebody else. I wish that when I was going through my suicidal episodes, that I would have had somebody that already experienced the very things to tell me that you can and you will overcome this. Eventually you will want to live, and you'll be able to go out and help somebody else live. So in my chapter, I wanted to be that person, that light at the end of the tunnel, to let them know that I've been there. I've wanted to die many times, but God allowed me to live. And now I'm here to let you know that you can live and that you will overcome this, so that you can be a light for somebody else. So when you're thinking about dying and no longer being here on earth, just think about the people that you could help by simply living. Just living, choosing to live. Think about the people that you could save and the people that you could help overcome the wishes to not be alive in the first place.
Wow. You said something very powerful, Sister Tanisha, and that is you can live, right? That's very simple, but it's very powerful and it's very relevant. If you are listening to this and this is relevant to you, please let us know. You can live. Now, sometimes when we think about those things, we think about a physical death. But what came to my mind is spiritual. Like, spiritually, we can live. Mentally, we can live. Emotionally, you can live, right? And all it takes is, like you said, Sister Tanisha, the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm going to ask you, before we go on to the next person, how did you know when you was able to not, to see the light or feel the light? Like you knew, like, okay, whoo, and I've been through this several times. I've gone through so much, but now I see the light. How did you know, like, you arrived at that moment or space and time?
Queen, that is an excellent question. One way in which I knew that I was going to be able to see the light is when I stopped being in denial about the fact that something was wrong with me in the first place. I was about to jump off a ledge at my college and kill myself. And I had to go before the student conduct board, and they told me, if you want to stay in school, you have to go to therapy. And I was like, no, I'm not going to therapy. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm not crazy. I'm not doing it. And in our communities, therapy is frowned upon. So I had to, number one, realize that it was an issue and then seek help. So therapy really helped me to get my feelings and my emotions together. And it allowed me to see that I had a problem. And it allowed me to realize that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. But I had to recognize that there was an issue first.
So what I'm getting from you, same words, I'm just choosing a different word. And this is for my listening audience. I just want you to just meditate on this one word, and that is acceptance. You had
Yes,
to just accept the reality. I'm here now, right? But
yes,
because you seen the light, you knew that you wasn't going to be there forever, you
that's right.
know. And what a powerful process that you had to go through just to show up for us tonight and give your story. So as we look a little bit deeper into this, how did you come into the point where you know you was like, okay, now I done been through it, I don't embrace my light. Now let me put this in a book. Like what led you to that?
Well, at first I was afraid because I had wore a mask for so long. Nobody knew that I was facing depression. Nobody knew that I was suicidal because I was always the life of the party. I was always the happy-go-lucky girl, you know, that was okay. And then when I would go home at night, I would be depressed and crying and on my knees asking God to kill me.
Mm.
So it was a very challenging task for me when God told me that He wanted me to write a book and tell my story. I fought Him for a long time, but eventually I saw other women wear the signs of the very things that I had experienced and overcome, and that was enough for me to put my selfishness to the side and decide to, you know, put my story out there in hopes that I could help somebody else. So just seeing other women experience the things that I was going through was enough for me to write the book.
Awesome. Now we're talking about Embracing Imperfection, Volume 3. The visionary author is Jessica T. Moore. I had the beautiful pleasure to write the forward, and I'm asking my listening audience to support this book. We're going to drop the book next weekend, November 5th. There's going to be a summit. Please mark your calendar so that you can get the book. Sister Tanisha, before we move on, and I want to thank you for what you said thus far, what is the name of your chapter and what chapter is your chapter in the book?
The name of my chapter is Breaking Generational Curses. And if I'm not mistaken, my chapter is chapter 3.
Okay, 3 represents trial, y'all. Y'all know how it is. Come on, get into the numbers. 3 represents 3 represents trial. But my sister stood on her story and not in her story, as the visionary author Jessica T. Moore would say. She has embraced her imperfection and gotten to that healed space. Not only could she tell her story, but she put it in a book for us to read it. And we can be able to eradicate generational traumas, dramas, limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging behavior patterns. And in the words of Sister Tanisha, we are breaking generational curses. Thank you so very much, beloved. I'm going to move right on to the next person. I'm going to the Sunshine State, Sister Michelle, okay? The nurse of the family. Sister Michelle, thank you so much for being here. Definitely, beloved, what is the name of your chapter?
Okay, once again, the name of my chapter is Freedom Reigns.
Tell me about that. Like, what can one get from your chapter?
Oh my gosh. I was in a toxic relationship for 24 plus years, a marriage. And he was a covert narcissistic sociopath. Um, it was one of those things that you just don't hear much about. You know, you hear the word narcissist, but on the surface, it doesn't even touch the surface when you get into the actual personality disorders. Because we all have those narcissistic tendencies. You know, we like to control. Everyone likes to control something to some degree. But with these people, they go overboard with the controlling, the manipulation. And even with the narcissistic sociopath, it gets into deviant behavior. So we're talking evil things, evil. So it's, I suffered in silence.
Come on.
So many people, once it actually came out, people couldn't believe it because he's a covert, which basically means undercover.
Come on now.
So they only saw the good things that he was doing. He's a family man, he's a Christian, he's a good provider, and he was an excellent provider. But that was basically the only thing that he was excellent at, and that was providing. But in a family, you need more than provision. It takes more than money to raise a family. So it was a shock to the world that knew us when we separated, when he decided he wanted to divorce.
Wow. So, Sister Michelle, and at that time, were you still a nurse? Were you still practicing, taking care of other people? And
well, I was actually not working at the time because I have some chronic medical conditions.
Okay.
That were keeping me from working. So he was a primary source of income.
Okay. Yeah, I asked that because, when you said suffer in silence, and I can relate to that. We take care of other people, but, here it is, I'm going through something. And I don't have, whatever it takes, the courage or, the fortitude to tell other people what I'm going through. But we put these veils or these masks or these social veneers up so that no one knows what we're going through. And I feel like too, just from experiences, that's culturally, girl, you got a good man.
Yes.
Don't rock the boat, honey. He a good man. He paying them bills,
yes.
So you want to keep that all together, girl. You could deal with that. And we tend to tolerate things where we are being, like you said, in toxic situation, male and female, right? In toxic situations, because just as a culture, those things are passed down. That is cheaper to keep them. Type situation mentality. But here it is. You going through this narcissistic behavior or narcissistic relationship, toxic. Maybe you're getting sick from being in the relationship, holding your silence. Not being able. So, and I want to give this quote before I ask you this next question, because I feel like we all need to hear this, and the people need to hear this. Silent battles leads to silent battles leads to silent breakdowns or breakthroughs. You have to choose. You got to choose. Are you going to have a breakthrough, or are you going to have a breakdown when you in your points of silence? So I'm asking you, Sister Michelle, with this freedom reigns. How did you know, like, okay, that's it, I got to get out of this, or something has to change, I need a shift in my atmosphere?
I was dying physically because I was depressed. I was had anxiety. My internal organs were starting to fail. My body was actually dying. I mean, the doctors had, back in 2003, the doctors actually sent me home in August, the 1st of August, and told me that I would not make it through the end of 2003. They sent me home with Demerol and I was told just to take as much as I needed to keep myself comfortable. But I would not make it to the end of 2003. And here we are, we're almost at 2023. So God was in control of the whole situation.
Yes, he was. And he is.
And he is. He definitely is.
Absolutely.
Well, I knew that I deserved better. I had to get to the point where it was him or me. And I chose me. And once I chose me, I lost him completely, which was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because I was in a toxic relationship. Did we lose her?
I think so. She may be back in a second.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but I heard the whole thing, but somehow or another I took myself out the screen. And
Okay.
I heard you. And you said that you knew that you deserved better.
Mhm.
It was either him or you.
Yeah.
And sometimes, family, we find ourselves in these valleys of decisions, right? And it's not easy just to pull out because you have that
Mhm.
invested time, that invested energy, like you just have so much even your invested personality, right? Because everybody knew y'all as the good couple, but
Mhm.
you had to break away from the toxicity. You had to position yourself because you was literally physically dying and you wanted to live. You had to will yourself up
Yes,
out this relationship.
I
And that's
did.
what you're going to get from her story. When you read this, Freedom Rings, what chapter is it?
It's chapter 9.
Chapter 9. Come on now. Y'all gonna get me with the numbers tonight. Okay. Chapter 9, completion. It takes 9 months to have a baby, right? you was in your rebirth stage, right? And that's what they gonna get from sunshine. And that's why, I feel like I just see the light because you had to break through so much to
Yeah.
embrace your imperfection. And so there's power in the pen. What will you tell someone at this moment in their life as a result of reading your story? What's the one thing when they open that book and they go to chapter 9, Freedom Ring? What are they going to get from you, Sister Michelle? Just one thing. What can you say when I lay my eyes on your story, I'm going to walk away with?
I want them to have the will to live, choose themselves,
Mm.
choose freedom.
Mm, You heard it. November 5th, this book is dropping like it's hot. Okay. I want y'all to make sure you get your calendar, get your money together, attend the summit, and get the book because she wants us to live. And there's so many relationships where we have to go into that mode of valley of decision and choose life over death. So thank you, Sister Michelle. We are embracing our imperfection. November 5th, this book is dropping. All right. So I'm going to move right along to the Joy Coach. Sister Joy, I see you. Well, you know what, Sister Joy, I got Dr. Daphne over here in Dubai. Can I go to her, please? Because it's 3 o'clock in
Absolutely.
the morning, and we don't know how long she's going to be able to stay up over there in Dubai. Dr. Daphne, would you please come on and show forth your power? I mean, you over in Dubai, you taking care of moms, you're writing books to help us to understand that, hey, home is your base, but it is not your place. Please
Yeah.
let us know, Dr. Daphne, what gave you the drive to go into this endeavor the way that you do? Can you hear me, Dr. Daphne?
The last sentence I did not.
Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. What gave you the will to write your story, to write this particular story?
Beautiful. As I've earlier mentioned, that I've contributed to different books and I don't love repeating my stories. It's always something different. So this time in Embracing Imperfections, Volume 3, I decided to dedicate this chapter to my parents and to help people to cope with grief because it's a very beautiful, touching story. My chapter is titled True Love Never Dies. And I'll
Mm.
give you this quote where it starts, "O death, where is thy victory? O death, where is thy sting?" Because this is how I managed to cope when I lost both my parents together with a difference of just a few hours. I've never experienced death. This was the first time. The blow was very hard. And if it had not been for my faith and the good Lord walking me through, I don't think I would have seen what I have seen. And also, I highlight how my mom, being a lawyer of the High Court, still she managed the home, the children, and everything. And still, as a couple, how my dad supported my mom, and together they made it happen that even death had no power or victory over them. Just 2 months before they passed away, they celebrated their golden jubilee together, 50 golden years as a couple.
Wow.
Beautiful photographs. The whole family flew in, and we had a huge, massive celebration. Little to know that within 2 months the blast would come, that everything had ended and there was nothing to be done. And how I stood the test of time. And a person who is in the faith, sometimes it is okay not to know things. You won't believe that I'm supposed to be a master catechist. Being a Catholic, we have catechists which teach the faith, and been teaching for over 30 years. But an idiot like me did not know what anesthesia meant. And all I know, when I was told from my dad that, hey, listen, we have done our best. Can we just let him to sleep in peace forever? The word forever hit in my head. I said, I do everything on earth. I mess with everyone, but not with the good Lord, no matter what. Because my strong belief is, do whatever you like, but don't mess with him. Because
Yeah.
when he is with you, no one can break you ever. And that has been the secret to my success, and no one can break me at all.
Mm. Ooh, that is power in that story that I don't even know how to ask you the question. You say you lost both of them within a couple of hours.
Yes.
Wow. That's yes. That true love never dies. And I could relate not to that story, but losing a parent. I lost one parent and I was stuck in grief for over 10 years. How did you, with your faith, I got it. But what
Mhm.
other mechanisms did you use to come through such a tragedy that is actually a love story?
Mhm. Firstly, I thank God. I looked at the positive side. That's the way my mechanism works, of looking at the positive side of everything. As you said, I can never compare with your loss also. And I never do. If anyone says, oh, that's traumatic, you lost two and I lost one. Sorry, death is death. But for my brain, I took it this way, that at least I was safe seeing the tears of the other parent, because they were
Mm,
very closely united. I know I could not see dad cry or mom cry. So even though mom passed away first, dad totally, mentally, he was not in that position to see that she had passed away, to grieve her also. And he was rushed into emergency. So, in seeing that, for me, I was thankful to the good Lord. Also, I don't know from where this Bible verse hit strong, and that's what I used at their funeral. I made a blown up picture of them, and I put across that with their golden jubilee picture. It is, oh death, where is thy victory? Oh death, where is thy sting?
mm,
Even death could not do us apart.
mm.
And through it all, I kept reminding myself that how beautiful that, first of all, they never agreed for each other. And at the end of the day, you know that every human being comes into this world to go.
Right.
You and
That's
I
right.
also, we all pray for our loved ones that they may live a very long life. How
Right.
long will they live? 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. Come to the bottom line, even if you talk about 200 years or 500 years, they damn have to go. That's
They
it,
gotta
right?
go. That's right.
Exactly. And I have noticed that basically when we say, the person died of a heart attack, the person was not treated on time, not reached to the hospital, or it was an accident, these are all lame excuses. When your time is come, you have to go. You don't look back. If you remember, in the Old Testament is written, when one of the people were told to go keep, I think it was Gomorrah, something, who moved forward, and was told, don't turn back because you'll become into salt. So the same way, when you're told to come to the Lord and you're called upstairs, you just go. You cannot turn, you cannot stop. And I think that if my parents' time had not come and he had not given the call to come, even if a knife was put through them, nothing could happen to them.
That's
It was his will, and we need to accept his will, because his time is perfect, never late, never early, just
wow.
on time.
That's absolutely true. And my grandmother used to say, when your number is called, just be ready. So wow, when reading your chapter, what is the one thing? Wait, your chapter is what number in the book?
21.
21, 21, 20. It takes, okay, well, I'm not going to quote that quote, but anyway, 20, you know how they say it takes 21 days to break a bad habit, 21 days to break a new habit. So breaking the habit of not being able to let someone go when their time comes. What is the one thing that when we read your chapter, what is it that you want us to get as it relates to love never dies?
True love never dies because nothing can destroy true love because God is love.
God is love and love is God. Wow. Listen, family, November 5th, True Love Never Dies, Chapter 21. Dr. Daphne Soares, I can't wait to get your book and get me some hot tea like I got over here and sit back and read that love story. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for putting that story in a book, and let God have his way. That's
Amen.
power within that, to be able to embrace our imperfections and just let God be God. We hear that, but it's a whole nother thing to actually walk in it. So for you to stand on your story and write your story in a book to empower us, thank you. I just give you shout outs and kudos for telling your story. So again,
Thank you
that's
so
chapter
much.
21 in the book. Family, go ahead and drop us some yellow hearts. Let us know that you are with us. Share the video, because November 5th, we are going to release this book, Embracing Imperfections, Volume 3. And you are going to be graced by these beautiful sisters up here on the stage. And now we have Joy Allen, aka the Joy Coach. Joy, come forth. Now, I don't know. You have so many books, sister. Which chapter? What's the name of your chapter, first and foremost?
Okay, I can give you the name. I can't remember the number, but I can give you the name.
Give me the name, sis.
The name is The Scars That You Can't See.
Woo!
The Scars.
Wait, hold on, y'all. The star that you
The
can't
scars.
see.
The
The
scars.
scar. Oh, the
Yeah.
scar. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Scars, like a bruise. Scars.
Oh,
SCAR.
scar. Okay,
Scars.
right. Yes, ma'am. Tell me about that scar.
Well, my story is pretty similar to Michelle's. I'm talking about the other side of domestic violence. This is something that's new for me because usually, with my background in mental health, I'm usually talking about mental health, self-care, self-love, those types of things. And, for me, domestic violence was an area that I kind of kept quiet. I really didn't talk about. I dealt with that in my marriage as well. And for a long time, just like Michelle, over 20 something years. And, I was in a toxic marriage and it turned really, bad. So there was a lot of things that, I was dealing with behind the scenes. It looked like the picture perfect family. We looked like we were happily married and we were for a while, and then things turned toxic after a while. And so my thing is, people can be dealing with a lot of, emotional, mental, psychological, verbal abuse and things like that. And that's something that you really can't see. It's like we keep these things hidden. We don't really talk about these things. And it could be because of the shame, the guilt, and all of that. And with me, I would go to church and, act like everything's okay. And then when I finally, knew things weren't okay, I would go and I would try to say, okay, well, I need help or this isn't right. And, we would just get the advice, especially from the old church mothers. Well, you just hang in there. You just, everything's gonna be okay. You just keep praying. You got to keep praying and that kind of thing. And so it was so difficult because it's like, you really kind of feel like you're stuck and you don't really have anyone to turn to because you feel like, okay, well, since it's not physical abuse, since it's what, we've seen on TV or maybe with our parents or maybe with our neighbors or someone else, then it must be something that we can deal with. It must be okay. So we learn to accept it because it's something that society doesn't really talk about. A lot of light isn't shed on this particular topic. And so we feel like, okay, well, I don't have it as bad as maybe some other people had it. Like, since you don't see like a black eye or a broken nose or anything like that, we feel like, okay, it must not be that bad. This must be something that I can deal with or I should just put up with. And so we think that the abuse that we're dealing with, we just think that it's okay. We accept it as normal behavior, normal behavior. And my message is to try to let people know that, listen, this is not acceptable behavior, because a lot of this stuff, it leads to depression, anxiety, physical, mental illness. And I went through all of that. I went through depression and anxiety for years, and then it turned into physical illness. So to where I was fighting for my life, like Michelle said, fighting to stay alive. I had gotten so sick. Mentally, I was sick. Physically, I was sick, and I just really couldn't really be there for myself. And I was the kind of person where I was there for everyone, but I forgot to be there for me. And it took its toll on me year after year.
Girl, say that. I was there for everyone else, but I forgot to be there for me. Oftentimes, family, we do that. And in your story, just Joy, how did you know, like, okay, how did you identify that it was abuse? Because you said it was emotional, right? Emotional. Was it verbal as well? Like, what was
Yeah.
the telltale signs that you knew that this is not normal?
Yeah, well, it took a while. Like, there were some times where it was physical, but more so than that, it was just the manipulation, the control, the isolation, the jealousy, the intimidation. It's like they will try to control you with fear. They would make you just, feel you're something wrong. Regardless of what you do, you can never do anything right. They isolate you from your own family. He was even jealous of our own children. Those are his children, but he was like, if I spent too much time with my son or one of my daughters, like, listen, this is my wife. Just really, really obsessive and overly protective, over anyone. And so I just, after a while, I finally started waking up. I'm like, no, this is just not normal. I just started seeing that the patterns and the behavior, after a while, you just start to realize that this is not something that's normal.
Wow. So the scars that you cannot see. So as we read your story, what's the one thing that you can give the listening audience that they're going to, when they read your story, they are going to walk away with this thing I can apply in my life, especially if not that I'm just in it. Maybe I know somebody else. What is that one thing when they read your chapter that they can walk away with after reading your story?
Well, just knowing that they matter, that they are worth it, and that their feelings and how they're treated matters. Like, we deserve to be treated with respect and dignity and love. And knowing what real love doesn't hurt you. Real love doesn't tear you down.
Come
Real
on
love
now.
doesn't super and abuse you. Real love it doesn't hurt. So that's what I want them to take away. Real love does not hurt.
Okay, I'm writing. I gotta write that. Real love does not hurt. My goodness. Okay, I can't write it. I got too much. Listen, we can't tell you the chapter. That means you got to get the book. And that book is coming out November 5th. The scars that you cannot see. And knowing, there it is. My engineer put it up there. Know that you matter, right? Like they say, Black lives matter, white lives matter. Look, you matter, okay? So let's emphasize that. And in the book, Embracing Imperfection, Joy, the health coach, the mental health coach, is going to give you some tools, some revelations that you can read, and maybe it may be your niece, it may be your daughter, it may be your son, it may be your nephew, it may be your dad, that you can not only read a book but put a book in somebody else's hand. So thank you, Joy. Now we're going to move right down to Sister Sylvia, who is impacting the world just by her presence alone. Sister Sylvia, thank you so much for being here. You giving us a head start in life by telling your story. What is the name of your chapter in the book?
My chapter is chapter number 4, Mending Broken Pieces.
Ooh, 4 foundation, mending broken pieces. Girl, tell me give me a little snippet of that story.
Okay, a little snippet of my story. It starts out me talking about the younger part of my childhood, and when my daddy issues basically developed due to seeing my parents go through a divorce. And going through that so young, not really understanding what was going on, I didn't know that it would affect me later on down the line in my own life. And that really played a part into, certain choices and things that I made due to me having those daddy issues, with my father and everything. It made me so quick to, you can lie to me, and I just fall right for it and just go along with it. Didn't think nothing else about it, didn't really care about it, just moving along. And that actually played a part in the some of the choices and things that I made as a teenager. And then I basically was going through a whole nother situation in my adult life. When I finally got married and things like that, I was repeating the cycle of what I seen my mom do in my
That's
own marriage.
powerful. That's powerful because we tend to do that. We
Mhm.
actually choose men that's more like our dads. We do that. And so as you write this powerful story, chapter 4 in the book, mending the broken pieces. What gave you the courage to write that in a book?
It gave me the courage to write that in the book. There surprisingly, there are so many people who have went through that, going through something at a young age and not realizing how it affects them into their adult life. And it's a lot of people that when they do get in these situations in their adult life, they tend to stay because they don't want to repeat those same cycles within their own family. Like with my parents separated, I didn't want that to be what I did to my child, not knowing that that was also going to affect her too, me staying for as long as
Mm,
I did.
mm. So let me ask you: is there healing? Is there healing in the brokenness?
There is healing in the brokenness. There is healing in the brokenness. The main thing was being able to actually acknowledge that I was broken.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first thing I actually had to acknowledge, because for so long I tried to just look over it. And that's the worst thing to do, is just try to push it off as if it's nothing. No, you have to acknowledge that you're broken. And that's when you can start the process of actually healing, when you can acknowledge, like, hey, I am broken. Hey, I do need to fix this. This is not how this needs to be. And when I was that broken version of myself, I actually had lost myself. I wasn't the vibrant, happy, peace, full of love and joy version of myself that I've always been. So
Mm.
in losing myself, I really had to get myself together and find me again.
Wow. So you had characteristics change, like things
Mhm.
about you just totally changed. And
Mhm.
what, okay, I know I have to go because I got my this thing almost over, but what does that look like? And I'm sure you're gonna give it to us in the chapter of the book. Y'all, Embracing Imperfection, November 5th. November 5th. There's going to be a summit. Please put that there's going to be a link that's coming up. We're going to show you the book. What, okay, I'm not gonna say just get the book. How do you just go on a journey to like search for yourself? Do you explain that in the book?
Yeah, in so many words, yes, I did. I explained that in the book on
Okay.
how I went on the journey of actually finding myself again. I did.
Okay, well, give us just one tip. How does one? Okay, I find myself. I'm in this situation. The truth is, I love this person, but I'm broken because I got daddy issues. I know
Mhm.
I'm in a situation that's not healthy just for me, but it's not healthy for my children,
Mhm.
right? But I love this person. How? What is the journey? Give me one step that somebody that's listening to you right now. Talk to that one sister, that one brother that's in this situation. Might not be daddy issues, might be mommy issues. What's the one step we can take?
The one step that you can take is love yourself enough to, even in your brokenness, pick up each one of those broken pieces and mend them together so that you can have the strength to be that best version of yourself.
Beautiful. Thank you. Wow. As I listen to you, there's a tape by Minister Farrakhan, How to Mend a Broken Heart. Such a powerful tape. And you are giving a powerful testimony. Family, we are talking about embracing imperfections. These five beautiful women is only that's only a portion of 25 authors. You're going to have 25 authors telling these stories, Going to give you words of encouragement, lessons learned, and some heart work. Is that right? Heart work that you can do to mend a broken heart. We had Sister Tanisha here. She talked about breaking generational curses. We got Sister Michelle, her chapter, Let Freedom Ring. Dr. Daphne, True Love Never Dies. And Joy, Brain, Real Love. Wait a minute, I got your quote. Joy, what's the name of your chapter again, sis?
The Scars That You Can't See.
Derek, Scars That You Can't See. This is just a microcosm to the macrocosm of this book that's going to be released November 5th. We want you to definitely, there's the beautiful book. And you see my face on the back right there, okay? There is the beautiful book. There's a link that's coming up. We're going to ask that you go ahead and register for this summit. Go ahead and support your authors that you've seen here tonight. You can click this link right here, and that is going to get you right to, that's going to get you right to this book, right to the summit. I want to thank these beautiful ladies for coming on tonight, opening up their hearts, opening up their minds, and more importantly, opening up their mouths so that we can begin to embrace our imperfection. This is for women who desire to make an impact. This book is endorsed by the Les Brown. So we're asking you to get the book, read the stories, and let's go ahead and make this world a better place. Stand on your story and not in your story. Again, my name is Sister Nayyirah Muhammad. I'm your transformational life coach and speaker. Ladies, if y'all want to just hold on while I do my few announcements. I'm truly excited to have hosted this program tonight, where we are constantly providing content that is going to help you to eradicate generational trauma, drama, limiting beliefs, and self-sabotaging behavior patterns, so you can be able to do this very thing. Count on you, because your life matters. Your story matters, right? So put it in a book. Let somebody read your story so that long after you gone, you have a word that's going to carry on. And so if you are one of those people that just need some extra help, you are ready for some coaching, you are ready, you know what, Sister Nayyirah, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, then I'm going to ask you to go to my website at www.repairoftheblackfamily.com and book a session with me. Let's see how we can, leave 2022 and create 2023 with new results in your life. More importantly, and I'm not going to say more importantly, in addition to booking a transformational life coaching session with Sister Nayyirah, I have this beautiful retreat coming up. It is not too late to secure your spots. 7 days, 6 nights in sacred Sedona, Arizona. Transformational life coaching retreat where you are going to unleash your passion, your power to intentionally heal on purpose in sacred land, on sacred grounds, getting prepared for new results for 2023. Now, if you don't know anything about Sister Nayyirah and you don't understand what the power of healing on purpose is, then I'm going to ask that you do your research and see what type of results that you can create in your life for 2023 by going to Sedona, Arizona, experiencing the sacred grounds while you are with like-minded women that's doing the same thing at the same time, getting new results. That's therapy. Change the environment, change the location. Sometimes you got to change the company to focus on you. In addition to that, in addition to the 7 days and 6 nights with Sister Nayyirah, we have the famous Repair of the Black Family Anthology. If you do not have this book, go ahead and go to Amazon, get your book, and go to my website and get the book. Okay. Of course, my book is always on display, but tonight I am emphasizing that you get this Embracing Imperfections. So I'm gonna kind of skip over that tonight, but this book is always available for you. Let's go ahead and get the Embracing Imperfection. And we do have our shirts unapologetically healing. Look, you can wear your healing on your chest. Affirmation, affirm your healing every single day. Let people know I am unapologetically healing. Sometimes we always say, I'm sorry for saying this. I'm sorry for, no, I'm not sorry. I'm healing on purpose. Okay. And sometimes not only are you reminding yourself, but you are reminding others. I'm a walking billboard for my healing. So go ahead and go to repairtheblackfamily.com. Get your shirt today. This is your sister Naira, transformational life coach and speaker. And if you ever need somebody to come in and set the room on fire, you know how to get in contact with your sister. Thank you so much. I love y'all. Peace. Heal on purpose.